Good afternoon. Yeah, it's quite nice out there. Welcome to Dice and Bolts, where I take a quick look at the core dice mechanic behind some of the various role-playing games that are on my shelf. And this quick video this afternoon, I'm going to have a look at the SilCore rules. This is a generic set of rules put out by a company called DreamPod9. They're still going as a company, www.dp9.com. They've kind of pulled out of the role-playing side of things, focusing more on the miniatures that they kind of started off with anyway. This is the rule set that sits behind. It's very, very similar to the rules that they use for the miniatures game as well, but it sits behind Gear Krieg, Core Command, which is their sci-fi game, Jovian Chronicles, which was like a very space opera style game, and Tribate, which is like a post-apocalyptic mystic game. It's quite an interesting setting, and they're most famous for Heavy Gear, which has been a very long ongoing. It started off with a miniatures game, still going on a miniatures game. I think they've gone from metal to plastic, but there's like starter sets that you can get. It's a little bit easier to get into at the moment. And the game itself uses a pool of six-sided dice. Quite a unique mechanic in this one. Skill checks and attribute resolution, skill checks and skill resolution. You've got a list of skills, and they're rated from like 0 to 5. But you also have what's called your complexity. So complexity is taken off the difficulty number of, or the complexity and the difficulty of the task affect the difficulty number of what you're trying to do. So you might be rolling against a difficulty of 4. Okay, and when you roll the dice, you roll the number of dice equal to your skill. So say we want to take a shot at somebody. Okay, we might have 4 dice in firearms. Look at the highest dice, and that's your result, which is actually quite straightforward. We then get to add any relevant attributes to it. So if we shoot at somebody, agility is going to be on that one there. So if we've got an agility, it's like plus, I think -3 is the lowest. It goes up to like +3 or +4. Most humans aren't going to get much more than a +2. So if we've got, say, a +1 to this, that gives us a result of 7. Complexity on the skill is also faced with complexity on the task that we're attempting. So you'll start off with like complexity rating 1 on your skills. Most challenges have difficulty 1. So your net modifier is 0. So basically the difficulty routine task is 3. Add 1 for the difficulty, add 1 to your dice result for your, or take away 1 from the difficulty from your, because you've got complexity 1 in the skill, it means you're not modifying it. However, if you've got a difficulty 2 task and you've got complexity 1, you're adding 1 to the target number or taking 1 away from your dice, whichever way round you want to do the maths. So your target number is 1 higher because the complexity is a bit more difficult for you. Conversely, if you're attempting a complexity or difficulty 2 task, but you've got complexity 3, then you're actually getting +1 to your dice roll, which is built in because your depth of skill is higher for it. So you can have, and it puts out in the example, that you can be an absolute virtuoso at something and have 5 dice in a skill, but only complexity 1, because you're really, really good at it, but you've not had any training in it. That's going to give you very, very different rules than if you've only got 1 dice, but you've got complexity 5, as in you're not very creative, but you had an awful lot of training for it. It's quite a subtle little mechanic there, and it can play for that way around. That's basically it. That's the dice and bolts of the SilCore system. Pool of 6. Oh, the other thing, sorry, didn't mean to forget. If you get multiples of the highest number, you get +1 to your results for every additional one that you've got. So this, with no other modifiers, would effectively be a result of 7, result of 8, and so on. And similarly, if the highest dice that you've got is a 3, but you get 4 of them, then that means effectively you've gone 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've actually rolled a 6 because you've had all those multiples there. It's quite an important part of it. So I forgot it. That's the dice and bolts of the SilCore system. Pool of 6-sided dice based on your skill, modifier based on your kind of training with that skill, and the difficulty of the task that you're attending. Roll them, keep the single highest dice, get bonuses based on the difficulty between the difference between the difficulty and complexity. Add that to the highest dice result, meet or beat it. Nice and simple. Roll well, and I will see you around.